Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Ready to Love DC, episode 7. That's what friends are for. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around. I have all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. Tommy meets with the ladies in the ladies' lounge, and it's 8 women left. This week, the power is in the women's hands when it comes to eliminations. This week, the women must introduce the men or the man that they have interest in to their closest friends. Aisha makes a production clip that she's really digging feel and has some other perspectives, but her friends will surely not hold back when it comes to important issues. Kamil is happy that they're almost done with the process because she can't wait to be with her man Cornelius, but her friends can be a little rough. When they all returned at the end of the week, Tommy wants the tea and information about who will be eliminated. It's top golf with Zadia, friends, and she wants a perspective for Niam. He arrives with a dozen white roses and they cheers to an intense interview. He admits that he's not married and doesn't have any children because he hasn't found the right mate. Zai is beautiful, intelligent, kind, and he loves that she stays fit, all traits that he finds important. Sabrina and her friends gather to talk about Walter. They're all really serious when it comes to meeting this special guy. They're impressed at his demeanor, and one by one he introduces himself, and Walter makes a production note that he wasn't expecting so many friends to be present, but he'll roll with everything. They want to know what brought him to the area in the first place, and he said that years ago he received a full scholarship to Morgan State University under electrical engineering. From that response, everybody is well impressed. He goes on to express that from the moment that he met Sabrina, he can't stop smiling, and in this process, his true intentions and his top pick is Sabrina. As the meet and greet with Zadia comes to a close, Naeem says to production that her friends were really cool, laid back, and that he had a good time. Her friends report that overall he seems like a good guy and his energy seems very genuine. After the meetup with Sabrina, Walter makes a production clip that he likes Sabrina's friends. They're a true reflection of her, nice, classy, and articulate. After Walter leaves, all the friends agree that he's a good catch, and Sabrina is relieved. Shawn is the next guy they'll meet, and Shawn is excited and even brought a deck of cards to play spades. He just wants to have a good time. Sabrina does share with them that he said some things on the last date about how he had some reservations. If he gets with her, then maybe down the line he doesn't want to hurt her. When Shawn enters the room, the tension is already thick. Shawn articulates the question of what his ideal woman would be, and his sophistication, being maternal, smart, and a sense of style, like Claire Huxtable. And to add some humor, he says, "Can I get an amen?" But no one responds. Another friend asks if he is in the position to be a provider. And Shawn says that he can take care of a bill or two, but not all of the bills. He's made a connection with 2 other women in this process, but the strongest is with Sabrina. Friends want clarification on his statement about how I don't want to hurt you later on down the line. I mean, that seems off. If you're being honest, what does a couple of months down the line have to do with things not working out? Shawn explains that he's upfront with what he wants. So moving forward with someone that doesn't match exactly what he wants may be trouble down the road. He's ignored those matters in the past with other people, and the issues just festered. He wants children, yet Sabrina mentioned that she doesn't want any more children. He makes a production clip that, wow, you thought I said I'd want to punch Sabrina in the kidney and drop her off somewhere. Sabrina does take a moment, though, to defend Shawn with her friends and says that what he's saying is fair and he's being honest, and honesty is important. Plus, he hardly knows me. The meetup ends and her friends are over Shawn. They don't feel like they're a match at all. Kamil brings her friends to meet Cornelius, and her friends want to know who does she have a crush on this week. Kamil says that he doesn't believe in sex before marriage, and her friends laugh, wondering if she is okay with that decision. It seems out of character for Kamil. She does admit to production that she would like to see the equipment first before saying I do. Cornelius arrives and they like what they see, and they get right to the nitty-gritty. Is he in love with her? He says that he loves her personality and everything he's learned about her so far. And in 5 years, he sees himself married. He's not a cheater. And Camille's friend spills the tea in saying that Kamil has commitment issues. She's been close to the altar many times, and she's sort of like a runaway bride. They want to know how that makes him feel, but we don't see Cornelius's response. Instead, we see a production note that Cornelius had a good time meeting up with her friends, and he'll surely think about the commitment issues with Kamil. It might be a problem. Camille's friends aren't buying the situation one bit. He seems like he's a nice guy, and she walks all over nice guys. She gets bored easily, and he doesn't really seem like her type. Kamil says that she's tired of running away and is ready for something real. She's tired of going from guy to guy. Sydney's friends, Dallas and Ashley, sit down with her and they want to know what's the tea with the new guy. She knows someone named Frank, and Frank is not exactly a stranger. They've met in the past. She feels like Frank always had a crush on her in the past, and now they have a chance to actually get to know each other and spend some more time. When Frank arrives, they're very physical, giving nice long hugs and kisses. They want to know when was Frank's last relationship, and he explains it was 3 years ago, and it ended because they just grew apart. Frank admits that one of his problems is caring too much, and it can be rough. As he's speaking, Sydney is very physical, wiping his sweat, tending to his beard. They are really starting to vibe. He tells her that he really cares about her, and he's lost his way in the past, trying to do the most. Sydney says to production that she loves his physical presence, verbally and physically. I love it when a guy can just show me that he's really interested. Frank says that Sydney embraces his interests. She's gorgeous, someone that he could see coming home to every day. She loves to stay fit, and he loves her personality. After the meetup with the friends come to a close, Frank leaves, but not before giving several kisses and hugs with Sydney. Sydney's friends agree that Frank seems like a good guy, but a lot of his answers to everything seems like a pageant answer. Sydney says that when she answers people, sometimes she may have a pageant answer too. And to add humor to the situation, she says, "That's my man, and I'ma stick beside him." Mumin meets up with her friend Robin. Robin has been married for over 24 years, and Mumin respects her perspective. Dante arrives, and Mumin feels like they have a connection. Dante says that I'm a father of 3 with 3 different mothers, and it's been a journey. Mumin loves children, but admits to production that getting involved with someone who already has children can be tough. He's honest with Mumin that has strong possibilities with other ladies, but he is interested in Mumin. As saying that, Walter arrives. They all laugh that this entire process is awkward, but it's necessary. Mumin makes the production note that Walter seemed uncomfortable while Dante remained there, but Dante remained calm and a little bit more open. Dante even helps her by holding her hand under the table. After Dante leaves, Robin questions if he's ready to make a commitment. They do have wonderful energy and they have a connection, but he must admit another guy did just leave with the same thoughts. It's up to Mumin to make that decision. After Walter leaves, Robin says to Mumin that both guys seem pretty genuine, and this decision is up to her, and it will be a difficult one. She didn't sense anything off with either one of the guys. Now it's time for Phil to meet with Aisha, Shiloh, and Tisia. Phil admits to production that it's flattering meeting with all of the women, but then again, there's only so many women and so many men. It's like going through an interview process over and over again, but it's necessary. In totality, they want to know pretty much the same things. In a nutshell, he was born and raised in East New York. He's close with his family, and it was interesting that even a friend asked him, what is his purpose in life? Like, wow, these questions are pretty deep. He does think that it's super early to ask such a deep question, but he rolls with the punches. He answers that he's very passionate about helping children. Aisha's friends want to know that Aisha does all the cooking. So what is he gonna do? He makes a joke by saying, eat. With Tisia's friends, it's the same questions. He wants to get married, he has no children, but he does want children. Tisia wants 3 or more and wanting to know about his other potential women. Phil says to production that he conceals the information about where the women stand because he wants to get to know them, and the order of his interests really isn't important. Aisha is his strongest connection. He's going through the process and he sees it as just that. Nothing personal. It's back at the ladies' lounge with Tommy, and the ladies can't wait to share the scoop. Sydney reports that her meeting with Frank and friends was amazing. The only setbacks is that her friend said that he gave pageant answers, but she has a connection with him. Sabrina talks about Walter and how it was a good date and meet up with friends, and they loved him. Walter even mentioned that she was his first choice. Shawn, on the other hand, wasn't so great with her friends. He even said to her afterwards that he felt like he entered a firing squad, especially when he said that he wouldn't pay all bills, but he would pay a bill or two. Tisia talks about Phil and says that she loved the meeting that he had with her friends. He even held his own with the tough questions and said that he would like 2 kids. Shyla reports the same thing about Phil, that he has good vibes, there was a good meetup with her friends, and she admits that she's smitten over Phil. He's very physical and very attentive. As the women talk about Phil, Aisha can't help but to hide the emotions on her face. Tommy wants to know if Aisha knew that Phil went on other dates with the other ladies. She says she didn't know, but is open to the process. If he can stretch with his demands and doesn't pop like a rubber band, then it is what it is. Tisia didn't know Phil went on other dates either, and says, cheers to Phil, but Tommy can tell that she's a little bothered, and he wants to know, hey, we got to keep it real in this room. Tisia says that she feels that, yeah, Phil is stretching like a rubber band, and people's intentions need to start shrinking. The comment gets an applause by Mumin and a finger snap from Kamil. Tisia continues, like, wow, Phil, you're going on all these dates, but I need you to pick a side, pick a side. Now Tommy wants to know who the ladies aren't digging. A lot of the ladies are not digging Shawn, Frank, or Cornelius. And of course, we have Kamil making her crazy faces. The ladies agree that Kamil, in her mind, is already shacked up with Cornelius. And Tisia says, word on the street, Cornelius isn't as into Kamil as she's into him. But you didn't hear that from me. Tommy says that now it's time for eliminations, and let's get everybody to discuss who will go home. Zadia says it's time for people to draw the line in the sand, and Aisha agrees that she needs to narrow down her list. But Zadia says, I don't have a list, I have 2, and I will shrink it when I'm ready to. Aisha clarifies that she was only responding to her last statement. Aisha makes a production clip saying that, look sis, it's no need for you to be pressed. If I go into a supermarket and I have 2 items, you need to get 2 items. That's a list. 1, 2. If you have 1 item, that's 1 item, not a list. Kamil makes a production clip that Aisha made this whole speech about letting a man stretch, right? But then she agrees that we need to get the list down to 1. We call her, Miss New York. She's from New York. You need to get the list down to 1 and letting a man stretch and all this other stuff. I mean, which side are you talking about? Sydney chimes in and saying that people are still getting to know her and she's new, so stretching is necessary. After that, Zadia scoffs at the statement, but Sydney wants to know, what's the giggle for? Zadia wants Sydney to address her as Zadia, not girl. And Sydney says that, look, it's no disrespect, but what I said, I just want to know what's so funny. Isha says that that's unfair to think that only she can say what she wants, but when others want to chime in, it's a problem. Zadia says she has her top 2, and she can shrink when she wants to. Tisia wants to know why Zadia is going to 100 for no reason. All we were doing was responding off of your last statement. She also makes a production clip that if Zadia wants to go to 100, she's already at 102, so don't play. Now it is time for eliminations. We have Zadia with Cornelius and Shawn with Tisia. Shawn makes a production clip that Tisia is very beautiful and he loves her country twang. He mentioned that he didn't like the encounter with Sabrina and her friends, but Tisia wants him to give a little bit more detail. What do you mean? Shawn further explains that he doesn't know Sabrina's friends well enough to say he doesn't like them specifically. It was just the encounter he didn't like. When he thought he was just having an honest conversation, he felt like they were being very pushy and intimidating. Why am I being bombarded when I thought we were just having an adult, honest conversation? He takes a moment to be transparent. Honestly, I don't think I have connections like I thought. And Tisia admits that, yeah, the ladies agreed that no one really felt that he was connecting with them or tried. Tisia even says that on the last date, they vibed, and she even metaphorically says, hey, I left you the key under the mat and you never came by. He admits that he didn't take light of the speed of the process. He usually takes his time to get to know everyone, and he regrets not having more speed with all of the women and getting to know them. Therefore, the ladies have decided that he is not ready to love. He then says, hallelujah. This process maybe just wasn't for me. Shawn says to production that it's fair to say that the ladies thought he didn't communicate well, but he felt he didn't know them well enough. He regrets dropping the ball with going faster. He even feels that Tisia was a great woman, and due to the time constraints, he didn't get to know her deeper. They cheers to good things in the future, and Tisia wishes him well with luck and love. Zadia and Cornelius get to talk, and Cornelius says to production that he does have a concern with this date. He knows that her and Kamil are friends, and he doesn't want this date information to be awkward and for Kamil to find out. He does feel that he's making connections with getting to know everyone, but feels that Kamil called him his boyfriend from the beginning, so there's been this pressure. Zadia says that the ladies agree that he hasn't made a connection with other women. I mean, me sitting here with you, you seem a bit standoffish, and I'm trying to get to know you, and we're on a date. Are you two really vibing and getting to know each other like that? Cornelius is a little hesitant and says, well, yeah, I mean, her and I are developing a connection, and maybe I should have taken more time to get to know the other women a little bit more. She breaks the news that the ladies agreed that you are not ready to go home yet. We feel that you should take a moment to get to know the ladies a little bit longer. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. Hey, you guys, welcome back. I'm back from the Thanksgiving holiday. I needed a moment to breathe. I know y'all were wondering, okay, girl, where is the recap and review? Okay, because I'm looking on this YouTube channel and I don't see it. Okay, I got you. Okay, I had to take a moment to watch, edit, and develop my opinions and notes. Okay, I'm here. I got you. There was a survey that I posted about what are your plans for the Thanksgiving holiday. Rest, I'm staying at home, I'm joining friends and family, and lastly, I'm traveling somewhere special. And many of you said I'm joining friends and family. It's been rough. I didn't get to see them last year because of this dang on pandemic at 69%. And some of you said rest. I want to rest. I'm tired. I want to stay at home. It's been crazy. I was one of those people who stayed at the house and did a lot of stuff and took care of a lot of errands and I was tired. Okay. So by the time I got home, I was done. All right. Back to the review. I know y'all could care less. Okay, so let's talk about Sabrina, okay, and her friends. I mean, her friends was just... Shawn was right. It was a squad, okay? They had they no limit boots and jackets on, and they was ready to roll up with the tank. You know what I'm saying? They were acting like, they were interviewing somebody she was about to marry or something. Like, pump the brakes. The fellas are really nice, okay, in that situation, because I couldn't have been the dude in that moment. Like, okay, first of all, hello. All right, I have a question. Okay, so when they met up with the friends, I don't know if this was production or what, but did Sabrina ask the same questions? Did her friends have the same questions for Walter as they had the same questions for Shawn? This is what really kind of messed it up. Sabrina, going into it, she already painted this negative energy about Shawn before he entered the room. Well, he did say, a couple of months down the line, he doesn't want to hurt me. If you say some stuff like that before somebody even meets anybody, you're already building this negative connotation about somebody before they even walk into the room. And you could tell they didn't even give him a chance, okay, to really explain what he meant. And Sabrina didn't explain that situation clearly. She didn't go further into it and saying that we were discussing children first, okay? We were talking about kids, and I told him that I already had a child and I don't want to have any more. And from that, he said, well, you know what? With the situation, I wouldn't want to get into it. And then later on down the line hurt you. And that's exactly what he said. So she communicated in such a way that her friends was like, before he even walked into the room. I mean, Shawn's walking in trying to, be honest and have a conversation, and they just weren't having it. They weren't listening. And it kind of lets me know how her friends are. They're probably amazing, wonderful people. But the way I am is that even if I hear certain things about certain people, right? Even if they're from true and dear friends that I've known for years, I still don't take their word for it. I gather my own opinion about people. I don't just run with what they think, because different situations and experiences may differ from person to person. I may like somebody as a friend, and then on the other hand, you can't stand them. Okay, so it's that type of situation. They seem like there's this antic within their friendship. If I don't like them, you don't like them. It ain't no if I like it, I love it, type of situation. They just like, if I don't like them, you don't like him. He said I'm gonna be, with you for 3 months or something, and then later on down the line, I don't want to hurt you. The way Shawn explained it was pretty, straight to the point to me. How does that not make sense? If I'm telling you that in my mind and in my heart, there's a possibility that I want children, okay? And you telling me there's no way I don't want kids. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. Same situation and conversation with Aisha. Aisha's just like, I'm done. I don't want to have any children. Why should Shawn change the way that he thinks and what he wants because they're done, right? Seems unfair. Shawn, I wish you well. You are somebody that said what you wanted and didn't get it. And this is production's fault as well, because they brought you in mid-process and they brought Sydney in mid-process, which kind of caused the conflict with the ladies in the ladies' lounge. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. We still on Shawn, okay, in some comments that he made. When I asked him, hey, are you ready to be a provider? And he's like, well, I can't pay all the bills, but I can pay a bill or two. Why is everybody tripping on that? People were tripping on that last season and the season before that and the season before that. Look, we supposed to be ladies who independent. Why is there a problem when the man say, hey, I can't pay all the bills? Why is that a problem? Why is it that we're having these conversations that, okay, the man needs to be the provider and pay all of the bills? This is my perspective on it. And those of you who are new to the channel, I got to repeat this for y'all. But for those who are my subscribers, you know how I feel about this. My opinion on the bill situation, okay? If you both have financial responsibilities that you can take care of individually, that are your bills. They are your bills, okay? Student loans, your cell phone bill, you know what I mean? Stuff that's individually yours. I can understand how those are bills you need to take care of. When it comes to things that you are sharing, it makes sense to me that you would divide those responsibilities, right? Mortgage or rent, light bill, cable, we share that. We both using it at the same time, unless there is an understanding financially, okay? That say for instance, you are a housewife, right? Stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, and you have those agreements to where your responsibilities are taking care of this. You're clearly not at work, so I'm the one working, so I'm going to pay all of the bills. That's different, okay? Why should this man come in and pay all your bills and pay your telephone bills and you working? I don't understand it. I barely know you. This ain't my child, okay? Why am I doing that? Unless you're married and you have to understand that you are both parents, right? He's the stepdad, you the mommy, and y'all are splitting the bills with the child and babysitter and food. Like, I get that. But why are people stressing? If you come in, are you the provider? Can you do? First of all, we got to talk about the real psychological part is who's ready to be a step parent. That's most important when we talk about bills, because, like they say in the South, baby, if I wasn't here, how was you going to pay it? Okay, if I wasn't here, how were you going to pay that bill by yourself? Exactly the same way you was doing it before, by yourself. Okay? So that's just my opinion on that whole situation. Unless you have an arrangement to where you're not working and you're taking care of other responsibilities, you need to share what y'all both use. Okay. Now, if there's a financial difference, okay, if I'm a teacher and you a doctor, that's different. Clearly, I can't afford to pay the same bills that you pay. That's fair. Then we have you paying a bill or two. Y'all sitting here making all these comments about, well, Shawn, he may not have no job. He a creator or whatever he was, art person or whatever he was doing. That's what he's saying. I don't make money like that, so therefore I can pay a bill or two. I'm being honest with the same situation. Let's also talk about how in society we view people's careers different. Okay, we got Sabrina being a fashion designer. Okay, but ain't nobody saying you ain't got no job. Ain't nobody saying that. Is her brand in Macy's? Is her brand in Neiman's? Is it in there? Is it at Nordstrom's? Okay, well, she's clearly a fashion designer, right? Who is developing herself. She has developing a brand or something like. I'm making a point that when in career wise, we're viewing men and women different when it comes to the creative sides and creative careers. We shouldn't do that, because we could equally say the same thing about Sabrina. Okay. So just stop. When people are following their dreams and they have certain careers, if you're a writer, if you're a creator, if you're this, if you're that, that is your career. That's your life. If we're talking about living your passion and who you really are, then that's who you really are. You having a corporate job and you having an artsy job, we could say the same thing with other people that have been on the show. Okay, you a comedian. Okay, does that make you a bum? Okay, because you're not selling out Phillips Stadium. Okay, so what's that mean? Just stop it. Just stop it. Society needs to start looking at, when it comes to sex, stop looking at careers differently and stop judging people. If they say I can pay a bill or two, if you want to sit down and talk about bills, okay, we got to look at the dynamic from all sides. Let's get to Kamil. Hey, girl. Look. I really love Camille's personality. She's fun, she's bubbly, she's goofy, she be making them faces and stuff like that. I know I'll be making my faces and I know I'll be silly. I'm a Southern girl. I wear my emotion on my face. Not like that. Not to the extent of Kamil, because that right there, I didn't know. I was like, do we have Tourette's, or do we need to check that out? What's really going on? Because it seems like sometimes it's controllable, sometimes it's not. Girl, I don't know. But I just saying, those are the signs. Okay, so let's talk about Kamil. I was so right, y'all. I was so right. When her friends came and they were talking about, when Kamil spilled the beans about, Cornelius, he's saying that he's trying to, hold off from sex until marriage. And Kamil at the beginning of, the season was just like, I agree with that. And I'm not trying to have sex before marriage and all this other stuff. I told y'all from the beginning that Kamil was a freak. I told y'all that she lying and she just saying all of that because Cornelius said the same thing. I told y'all that she was just leaning with it, rocking with it. And that really wasn't her stance on that. She seems like a very sexual, physical person. And I was right. When I said that, y'all went in on me. Okay, on Instagram and the other video. Why are you downing somebody who's saying they want us to hold off until sex? And that's not what I was saying. What I was saying was she flipped what she was saying so quickly when it came to her going through this process. You've been engaged all this time. You got a son. You got this. You seemed very physical and all of this and certain things that you were saying, letting the audience, anybody with some sense, know that you like the physical. Okay, you like to get on down with the get on. You got to get your groove on, girl. I could tell. Okay, and that's fine. You sitting up here lying to yourself and everybody, saying that, you gonna give it up before marriage. When Courtney was saying, I'm very physical, I'm all of this, and she looking her up and down with her fan like, girl, I'm trying to wait till marriage and all that stuff. When it's the, light's been shined, that you might have been saying that just because of Cornelius and you was really digging Cornelius like that. But your friends put you out and basically saying, girl, is that cool with you? That he's waiting till, marriage? I ain't no future in your fronting. Another thing, girl, Camille, when she said that about Aisha, saying it in her accent, mimicking her about letting the dude sweat, stretch or whatever. Girl, you said that to production, okay? You knew not to say that at the table to Aisha to her face, okay? You knew that you could get a New York Timberland across your face, okay? Punks jump up to get beat down. Look. Kamil, you knew to run your mouth just to the staff, okay? And just in insecurity in a room in an interview. If you would have said that at the table, honey, you already know it. Aisha got a longer reach and more height on you, okay? With more girth Okay, watch what you say, mommy. I don't know how she gonna react when they play that at the reunion. That's gonna be hilarious. Mark my word on that, because it comes off as fake, Kamil. That's all I'm saying. Talking ish about your girl Aisha. I don't know if that's your girl, but you said one thing to production and then you knew not to say it at the table, because honey, same situation. Let's talk to, is it Zadia? I told y'all from the beginning, if I mess up somebody's names, it's not on purpose. Let's talk about Zadia. Okay, chill, boo-boo. You know, the more people speak, you start to learn more and more about somebody. Do you have a temper problem? Is this why you cannot find anybody? Is this why you show up to every event or every situation like you about to work out because you ready to fight? What's going on? I mean, she was like, we need to narrow it down. And you know what? I have a list and I'm going to shrink it down. And everybody at the table like, is she okay? Did she do a few lines before she came to the table? Because, sis, we was only reacting to what you said, you know, and Tisia is pretty much like me. You know, Tisia was just like, man, why are you on 100? And she said to production, like, okay, if you're trying to go to 100, I'm already there. I can meet you there. You know what I'm saying? It was very interesting. May I also say that I'm really digging Tisia. I said in previous episodes that I would forget Tisia was even a cast member because we didn't see her. That's not her fault. Now we're seeing more of her personality. And unfortunately, it's dang near halfway through the season and we're really getting to know who she is. We really do. Look, production, come on now. We really do need to see more of the behind the scenes conversations. We need to hear the phone calls. We need to put everybody in one house. Okay, with cameras everywhere. We really do need to have it like they got a phone they can call outside and get, you know, information from their friends and talk to their friends about certain situations. And we need to have a confessional room, just like the real world, a Big Brother. Add all of them aspects to one house, because they need to date each other as much as possible and see each other all day so they can see the real personalities of each person. Zadia, whatever, Zay, girl, you might have a temper problem. And I'm pretty sure friends and family have told you that in the past. I'm sure of that, because the way you popped off at the table, it was just so unnecessary. Okay, can I say that I was right about Cornelius? Okay, and Kamil being the perfect couple. Well, Cornelius's match already left, which was Carrington. That was his true match. He already left. Okay, but now he's left with Kamil. Did you see his body language at the table when he was talking to Zadia? His head to the side. You would have thought he was a kid in the principal's office. And he's saying to production, well, I'm worried about what Kamil may think. They're friends, aren't they? This is why Kamil and Cornelius are perfect for one another. I've said this on other lives, on other channels, with other friends. I've said this over and over again. You have people who love to be pushovers, right? Who love to push over people, and the people who are being pushed. Right? He seems like a guy where he's so interested in not hurting anybody's feelings. He has a difficult time with telling somebody no. Okay? And for him to say, oh, well, she called me boyfriend, so soon when I got here, but he's not telling her, hey, boo, I'm not your man, honey. I'm getting to know you. He ain't said that. And then the fact that she's had control over him so much mentally that he hasn't really gotten to know any of the other ladies. He may like the fact that Kamil is so bossy, right? I've said this so many times. If you've listened to the other reviews, he likes that. Okay. Kamil likes that. She likes the fact that she can push over guys, the fact that she's been engaged several times, the fact that her friends are just like, well, you don't like, you stay with the pushovers, and if the nice guys you push over. Kamil enjoys that. She enjoys having that control over somebody and playing mind games with somebody. A perfect example, that time when Kamil threw a hissy fit when he was talking to somebody else. She said all that stuff about dude. Oh, country bumping and you naive and they all in your face like, and all sort of stuff. And he's still chilling, kicking it with her. It's like magnets. They just drawn to each other. It's toxic as hell, but don't tell me you ain't never seen a couple where you just like, she hitting on him when they get home. We don't tell me them couples don't exist, because they do. Okay, so moving on. Sydney and her friends. Okay, this just proves my point that having a younger kind of vibing kind of, group of friends was refreshing. Admit it. It was cool seeing Dallas and Alicia and Sydney. What's her name? Alicia or Ashley? Girl, I don't know. Okay, we're seeing them out there in the sun and everybody's talking. And she's like, oh, it was refreshing. Also, it proves my point, what I've been saying this whole time. We didn't really need a host, did we? We don't need Tommy, do we? We don't. When the cast members just do their thing, the show flows. When they sit down at the table in the lounge, the show slows down. Okay? Did you see that? I've said this every season. When they get a chance to just vibe and be alone and go on dates and talk and meet friends and kick it and all this other stuff, that's the fluidity of the show. We want to see all the dates. We want to see people, how they behave and how they act. We didn't need Tommy. It's like Tommy just stroll in. Okay, what's the update? What happened? Tell me what happened. Tommy, I love you, but it's a fact. What y'all do? Tell me what happened, what you think. Okay, who y'all think need to go home? That's like 5 minutes and then he leaves. That's the easiest check ever. Please sign me up to be a host with that, because that's easy as hell. I love you, Tommy, but it's the truth, and that's why you're still hanging in there, and that's why you're renewing your contract, because it's easy. Okay, but the cast could easily do that. Now, he could come at the end of the season or come once a month when it's time for eliminations, and but the host wasn't needed, and you saw that because when he popped up, it's like, oh, dang, I forgot about Tommy. What's up, Tommy? But we don't need a host. We don't need you because it's a dating show. And Shawn, when he was eliminated, he's talking about, I'm coming in and I barely got to know everybody. Duh. You're coming in at the percent mark where everybody else has gotten to know each other. Why are we so surprised at that? I'm confused. Don't know why. You haven't been there but a minute. And Sydney, okay, girl. When you was at the table and you was like, what's funny, girl? Zadia did have a point. Don't call me girl. My name's Zadia. She did have a point. You didn't have to call her girl. But, I get that you're frustrated too, because you're like, hey, everybody's got to stretch. You know what I mean? And I just got here and I'm still trying to know each other. That just upsets me because it seems like a lot of them vibe when it's too late and it's time for them to go home. I've said this so many times, and each season and every episode, and as it continues to prove me right that the fluidity of the show needs to change, and we need to give everybody more time to get to know each other. Everybody's still going to work and stuff and coming there and the date and all that. That's whack. It's whack. Anywho, let me know what you think. I can't wait to read y'all's comments below. Subscribe, like this button. Also follow me on Instagram, okay, so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. And also check out those shows in the pinned comments. And so many shows, so much other stuff going on. And I hope that you guys are following the recaps and reviews of HBO's Insecure. It's the last season. Now, for those of you who haven't rode the wave of this culture phenomenon, make sure you check out season 4. Season 4 can kind of give you a general idea of the show in its entirety, without having a binge watch from season 1. If you don't have HBO Max or something like that, or HBO, you can do that. You can check out and binge watch season 4 on my channel, get an idea of what's going on, and then join us for season 5 so you can be, aware of what's going on in this series, okay? In the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other. Thanks for being patient so I could post this. All right, bye.